Have you been negatively affected by toxic masculinity? Hashtag me too. Let's talk about it. Barry Smith here, pastor of 25 years, and a guy who's sick and tired of pastors and priests molesting kids and taking advantage of women. I've had it with the Hollywood elites and power brokers who leverage their positions to put women in compromising situations. I'm tired of seeing so many wives beaten on a regular basis and now seeking refuge in women's shelters, many of them with kids. And you know the only thing that sickens me more? It's how the far left and now the recent Gillette commercial have taken this concept of toxic masculinity and basically emasculated men from being the men God created them to be. Now, I realize there has been abuse in the past. The Bible is full of testosterone-filled ridiculousness, and that's why Jesus came to this earth and flipped the script. He told men that women are to be respected. In fact, there's no male or female, Jew or Gentile. No, we're all equal in God's eyes. But listen, being equal in God's eyes doesn't mean that we're the same. Being equal doesn't mean that there aren't roles that we're to fulfill. I'm not some macho extremist, but I also am not some snowflake either. What I do know is there is definitely a toxic masculinity all over America. And what we need right now is for masculinity to rise in massive proportions. Men, we've got to drive out the toxic part of the situation. We've got to dig down deep and grab all the testosterone that you can and start being the men you were created to be. It's not just about opening doors and pulling out chairs for these women. That's child's play. It's about truly respecting women, serving women, and sacrificing for women. A real man understands that his masculinity and strength, and then he leverages it. It's not to take advantage of a woman, but to protect her and care for her. A real masculinity doesn't take advantage of situations for his gain, but understand that he is stronger and faster. He understands that his role, particularly in the family, is to lead by elevating his wife, to lead by serving, to lead so well to the point of sacrificing his own life for his wife and his family. A healthy masculinity, especially in the home, is about a love and commitment so deep that the wife can't help but respect him. And the more a wife respects her husband, the more he'll love her. Women, I'm not saying you're weak. I'm not saying you're inferior. I'm not saying anything derogatory whatsoever about you. This is the way that God made us. You line up every man in the world from the tallest to the shortest, and then line up every woman in the world from the tallest to the shortest, and by golly, men are taller. You do the same about the strongest to the weakest, and the man will be stronger. You do the same about the fastest to the slowest, and the man will be faster. And you know what that means? Nothing. It is what it is. Get over it. Call it genetics, call it hard wiring, but don't call it toxic masculinity. Men and women are different. Equal, yes, but different. Men's brains are full of empty boxes that are supposed to be opened one at a time. And women's brains are an intricate, interwoven, multifaceted spaghetti string of interconnectedness all over. It's like we're the opposite in so many ways. And that's not good or bad, it's just different. But don't call it toxic masculinity. Women in general are nurturers. Men are hunters and gatherers. Women have babies. Men do not. And that makes perfect sense. That doesn't mean a woman can't be a breadwinner in the family, and that doesn't mean that a man can't be the nurturing stay-at-home dad. It just is what it is in general, and it's not good or bad, it's just different, but it's not toxic masculinity. What's toxic about masculinity is when you try to eliminate it or reduce it, when you try to squelch it, when you try to reprogram it. It always goes sideways. You put a group of young boys outside and you take all their toy guns away and you talk about how bad guns are and how violent they are and they're just awful and kill people. And you know what those boys will do? They'll make guns out of sticks and go around shooting each other, pretending. They'll play cops and robbers because there are bad guys out there. Boys will be boys, and that's good. But that doesn't mean we're to teach our boys to abuse girls. That's stupid. Well, who thinks that the Me Too movement or that Gillette commercial is going to change that? It's quite the opposite. When boys are godly boys, the world is a better place. And when girls will be girls, that's a good thing too. There are two genders on this planet, boys and girls. That's how God created us, male and female. He created us that way. I realize that's not popular today, but I don't care about popularity. I care about God. And God gave masculinity to men. And it's not toxic. It's fantastic. And when men amp up their manhood and become the men that God created them to be, then women are absolutely enamored at that masculinity. And when girls are godly girls and their femininity is leveraged for good, not to manipulate a man, but just to be the woman that she's supposed to be in Christ, then men have no choice but to be enamored by that femininity. It's the way God designed us. I understand that there are now dozens, maybe hundreds of quote-unquote genders out there, and that's fine. But that's also where you'll see some very jacked up toxic masculinity. In fact, you'll find that much of the toxicity of masculinity is a lack of it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you with me in that there needs to be more masculinity, but it needs to be godly? Or am I completely out of my mind and I am now feeding into the problem and I should start financially supporting the Me Too movement? Either way, I hope you'll like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us get the word out there. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like our stuff, consider supporting us with a tip on PayPal or a tax-deductible donation at YouChoose.Community. Those links are all below. So right now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and share this thing, because no doubt someone you know probably needs to hear it. God bless.